Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Sister-in-Law, Part 3, Page 1. Um, Sort of for the first image on this page, I went with something oversized because I'm going to do, I think because of the size difference, I'm doing, well, you'll see. Oh, shoot. Oops, I still have them in, I still have this thing pointing to the Shrimp of the House folder. Okay, so and speaking of bouncing back to this story, after doing 2 parts of Recall, there we. Oh shoot! What the heck? Oh, I see. Okay. I thought I rendered this oversized, but I guess not. Um. Okay, so let me think. It's going to be 65%. No. Oh my god. Already I've got problems, right? 50. Let's zoom out because I think. Oh my god. Whoops. Shoot. Scale. Can't be 30. Oh, okay. So I'm figuring this out. How about 40? What is that? But I think I can make this smaller, right? Okay. 38, maybe? Okay, yeah. So what I'm going to do is make this oversized and bring it over here. I think the downside is, let me bring it down here. I'm going to cut the whole side of this thing off. Come on. It's like, okay, where? Here we go. So I'm not gonna frame this right now because what ends up happening is when I do the thirds, uh, when I set up these in thirds in 3 rows, the center row, the bottom, and the top overlap the little border edge just a little. So I don't want to frame this and then not have it line up. So what I'm going to do is just leave this for now. Like I said, I've trimmed it oversized so I can move it up and down as needed. Let's see. And while I'd rather set up the next picture and get it rendering, part of me wants to get the text down while it's still in my head before I forget it between talking with you guys, distracting myself with that sort of thing. Well, oops, caps lock. Okay, isn't this precious? Let's see. Okay, I can have it overlap. Save. And since I've got the text, let's I might have to take her out of the shot. You know what? Just for a moment. Take her out. And change this just for the heck of it. Yeah, part of me is trying to get used to this again because I'm using different um, base figures than I was in Shrimp of the House. And I've been working on Shrimp of the House for a bit. That now I've got to kind of get used to these guys again. Um, the idea is like I'm bouncing around to keep from sort of burning out with one story, but hmm, I think when I finished the third part of Shrimp of the House, I was kind of feeling what am I looking for? Okay, I was kind of feeling that one in my head has a my head kind of wants to work on the fourth part of that story, but oh shoot, and I got to change the folder that this goes to. Uh, isn't this supposed to be? That's weird. Whoops, it didn't accept. Okay, I sort of have a feeling this one will end up like getting backburnered and forgotten about. But I think the two stories, like in my head, suffer from the same problem in that I want both of them to be slow shrink tales, but like in my head, I never really considered that both stories were only going to be interesting at the smaller end of the spectrum, at least from my perspective, from the point of view of working with it. So it's like, I think with Shrimp of the House at the end of part three, David was getting down to about the size that was making that story interesting to work with. I'd rather have it up here. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this story will reach that point for me probably later in this part. Well, I guess just like Shrimp in the House. But I think the difference is I'm expecting this to be a four-part story, where Shrimp in the House I'm looking more like, I'm expecting more along the lines of 6 plus. I say plus because I'm not really sure. This size. Oh, let's see. We have this size, and I still won't give it you. And we'll just go U. Yeah, we'll make that. Um, yeah, and I have to say, like, I found myself recording a lot with Shrimp of the House, with the Shrimp of the House story with Recall. And while I kind of expect to feel the same way with this one, it's the problem is because I have the nude and the sex scenes. I I can't put those up online if I shoot those pages. So I'm really so it's like this story I'm limited in. I've got to I've got I can only shoot certain pages, and then it's kind of has to coincide, and then work on those pages has to coincide with uh, sort of when I can record. I haven't been I haven't been watching much TV at all lately, but sometimes I still pop it on while I work, and and then like YouTube hits you with a copyright violation if you've got the sound of the TV in the background of the videos. Or sometimes too, if like I'm working while waiting for dinner, et cetera, blah 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 blah. And this one, unlike Shrimp the House, is I'm reminded that this one suffers from slower rendering times. Let's save that. Oops, layers. Layer scale. This one will be 34. Let's see, I'm going to go here. I think. Yeah, okay, there we go. You know what? I'm looking at this. I'm gonna take off this of. Okay, there we go. It looks kind of funny, but we gotta pop her back in. Val, parent. She's not really looking at him, is she? I'm not exactly sure I'm going to be able to sort of get something that looks how I want it. I may just focus. The problem is I want something like that. And I think because I want her, I'm going to take Frank out of the picture this time. And of course, the benefit to that is it should render faster without him. So let's render that one 3. I don't know how much of the gun is going to get cut off or stay in. So I think with this one, let's go layer new, and go ahead and border this one. Edit, paste as new layer. Select invert, select shrink, invert, and cut, and select none. And I think this one is funny because sort of like the funny thing about this one is I think because it's taking so long to render the pictures and it's taking so long to get the pages, get through a page. Can I get that your? Yep, okay. It it kind of feels like there's no substance to this one. Got the Control C. Damn it. Actually, you know what? I don't need to. Yeah, let's change. Let's not do that. It's when I'm trying to decide what I want to do from page to page. It almost feels like there's just nothing to work with. That like it's either starting to get repetitive or it's going to get repetitive. It feels like filler, but that's what this one was supposed to be. I can't get over that. It's I almost it's like there's a part of me that needs like that story to just drive it along, and this one's supposed to just be fooling around for 100 pages. There's nothing really going on that moves the story that moves the story, so to speak, except her continually diminishing him. Oh, you know what? Let's cancel this. I'm gonna put in, let's see, a spotlight, active viewport. Okay, and this spotlight doesn't need to be bright. It just needs to put a little bit of light on her face because that looked a little too dark. So maybe 20 in the render. But it's like before I came in here and started on this page and started filming for you guys, I went back and reread. Oh my god, that's gonna be. I have a feeling I'm not gonna like this. I went through and reread the first two parts, and it does. It seems like it does move. It does flow. It works. It's like, and it creates this disconnect between how I feel how I feel at the moment and what ends up, what the final result is. Oh my god, render something so I can see what this looks like. Uh, there we go. I don't really care if I get her face. It's this light that I'm looking at. I think my spotlight is. I feel like the spotlight is brightening this up a little too much when all I really want is her face. Yeah, and the thing is, the spotlight is, 20% on the spotlight is perfect for her face. And I think, actually, as I'm thinking about this, this might work because the light's on. It looks like the light's on, so. Oh, okay. So we'll cut out here for another minute just for her. Let's save. File open as layer, sister-in-law. Layer scale. 33. Oops. Okay. Yeah, I think the gun is getting cut out completely here. So, whoops. What the heck? Oop, undo. Okay, so I'm on the right layer this time. Let's cut. None. And I think you're going to come over. And that has slipped upward. Okay. Edit. Cut. So yeah, for some reason I was doing a lot of videos. Okay, so shrink. I was recording a lot with Shrimp of the House 3. Edit. Cut. Actually, so I'm ready to do this one now. Cut. But it's not just, like I said, it's not just the nudity pages, the sex pages that I've got to avoid, but it's also like the length of these some of these render times and this constant cutting away and coming back and whoops, invert. I'm going to delete the spotlight because I don't need it now, and I'm going to take right out unparent. What I would like to do, and I don't think, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it, but I'd like to do this bottom panel as one image all the way across. A wide shot. But I don't think, I'm not sure if I can get it wide. Or get a decent wide shot with their sizes like this. Let's delete that key. It's not that much. Yes, let's see what I want to do. Whoops. There's not a rocket here. I don't need to do a high kick. what I'm, oops, let's go to favorites. What I'm talking about is, let's do this. So I want to just shot like that of her walking away. Go. Yeah, that's the shot I want. Let's go. You might get your wish before I'm done with you, but not yet. Let's see. That way. Hmm. Can I get this one? Yeah, that works for me. Um, okay, actually, I don't need to cut it width-wise. Come up a little bit more. Edit, cut, unedit, paste as new layer. Um, and I will say, I guess since I'm kind of like don't have anything to say, what I will say is if if you want to reach out, if you something you want to say, you have thoughts, etc., whatever, um, you can feel free to message me, either through like DMs on like Twitter or on any of the sites I'm on. It's like I'm active on Twitter, Patreon, and DeviantArt, even if it doesn't look like it. But DeviantArt, I don't really post too much, or I don't really post regularly, but I check it frequently. Or if you want to respond to a thing, to like any of the posts or whatever, um, I usually do respond, or I try to. I may not right away because I'm not online frequently. I I do try to stay off because it's a distraction. But I do try to respond. I do enjoy hearing from all of you. I have to admit I've kind of got a shy personality, so I'm not usually, I'm not the kind to really initiate a discussion or anything. And I think, and I do say, like, sometimes I feel like, when some of my responses, I think, tend to be a little short. Don't take that to mean that I don't want to talk. It's or write back and forth or whatever. It's like, it's that shyness. Somebody like messages me and or responds to a post or something, and it's just my mind just goes full with all kinds of thoughts, and I and I usually trim it down to something, one line and stupid. But I do, I do appreciate it all, and it's and I'm not in any way blowing anybody off or trying to be unapproachable. Even though I'm like that in real life. Mm. But yeah, if you reach out, I appreciate it more than I let on, or more than it seems sometimes, or more than it looks like. I even appreciate when you guys, some of you message with suggestions. It's like I guess everyone gets, I don't know what see. This is why I don't respond, because my thoughts get like this, kind of like what I'm going on now. Or not why I don't respond, but sort of why my responses are short and kind of not really. It's because I get all emotional and my thoughts get jumbled. But yeah, even like, like it's like, in a way, I do like the messages like, oh, you should do a story like this. Um, I like the suggestions, but like, if you start messaging me with suggestions, do be aware that it suddenly becomes a copyright issue if I take the suggestions or use them. And I guess what I mean on that respect, it's talking about copyright. Oh my god! But hypothetically speaking, if I were to use a suggestion, I would have to change it enough so that it's unrecognizable, so that I'm not stomping on anybody's toes. Select invert, shrink, invert, edit, cut, select none. Merge down. Yeah, you might still change your mind, little man. So let's save image, flatten, and we will export. Uh-oh. Oh, no, never mind. My, my head was thrown off there for a minute. I was expecting to see the guide in the list when I hit export, but because the guide is not a JPEG, it doesn't show it in the export, only when I open. So let's take this. This is page 1. Oh, isn't this precious? You're about half your starting size, Frank. You can shrink me to half this size and I still won't give in to you. You might get your wish before I'm done with you. But not yet. You might still change your mind, little man. Oh, excuse me. That's a lot of mites. But that's page 1. Um, yeah, see, there's the guide when I go open. But if that made any sense to you, I'm glad. Didn't make much sense to me. But I will see you next time, and hopefully I'll be a little more coherent.